Welcome to the HJC Podcast, powered by HockeyJerseyConcepts.com. New episodes go live every Saturday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern on iTunes, Google Play, iHeartRadio, and wherever you listen to your podcasts. Good day, everyone. This is episode 23 of the HJC Podcast. My name's Ryan. I'm back after taking a week off. Everyone filled in admirably last week. We have the regular sounds back. We have regular guests back, and we have the regular host back. Let's hope it's still enjoyable. Coming up on today's podcast, we're going to play a little game of Would You Rather with jerseys. We're going to review our recent competition that's still ongoing, that's now headed into the playoffs, called The Season. Of course, we'll do Fake or Authentic, the Mailbag, and Throwback Throwdown, and your chance to win a free HJC sticker. But joining me today, here are our guests, Monday's writer, Shawn. Shawn, what's been going on?
Well, I'm snowed in, but I'm nice and warm in a Florida Panthers jersey. So you know what? 6-1, half a dozen yards.
That's one way to stay warm, I guess. It's the terrible blue jersey. I'm not a fan, but as long as you're warm.
But look, 3 of the best Leafs of the past 15 years wore it. So I mean,
if I had a Florida Panthers jersey, I think I'd get Jamie McLennan on it. I think he spent 1 or 2 years there as a backup. But, yeah, I'd get Jamie McLennan on it. Also on today's podcast, Tuesday's writer, Ben. What's been going on, Ben?
Well, I didn't think the highlight of the Red Wings season would be splitting against the expansion club, yet here we are.
It's been a tough season, obviously. Hard to take. I'm not a productive trade deadline for the Red Wings, I would assume.
Not particularly. I think the Tatar trade was okay. And the Mrazek trade was awful. They couldn't even get rid of all of his salary, and they only got a bag of pucks.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't get rid of Green, but I guess the injury was the big thing that held that trade up. So we'll see what happens. I guess he walks for nothing at the end of the year. Who knows? Also on today's podcast, Friday's writer, TC. What's going on, man?
Not much. Just hanging out in Georgia. Excited for a podcast and glad to have you back, Ryan.
I was dying last week. Strep throat. I had the doctor in for a house call. I've been on.
Isn't that a who's call?
Who's call? Coming in for a who's call, eh? But yeah, I've been on antibiotics. It's still not 100%. And then having to take care of my kids while my wife goes off to work. That's been fantastic. So that plus strep throat has made for a really great week. But here we are. We're podcasting. Also on today's podcast, Sunday's writer, Steve. What's been going on, Steve?
Just another week in my world. How about yours?
Oh, just, barely hanging in there, doing better. But thanks for covering last week.
I was going to say, I'm surprised you didn't yell at us for how that went down.
If we got more comments, I would have just left the podcast for you guys again. Just been, oh yeah, strep throat's still around. You guys are going to have to take over.
I mean, you could do that anytime.
The Anarchy Podcast. Put it to bed for a little while. All right, everyone's here for this week, and let's get started. And for our first segment, we're playing Would You Rather. So for this segment, I'm going to list 2 jerseys, and as we go along, there's going to be specific conditions with each jersey. Now, the writers don't know which jerseys I've chosen. And the rule for this game is you have to choose one of the jerseys from the list. No going off the list, no creating a separate set of circumstances. You must choose one of these jerseys. Everyone good with this? Oh, good. Yep. Yes. Everyone can see you guys nodding, so that's good.
Do I have a choice?
All right, here we go. The first choice. Would you rather have one of the following? A game-used Thrashers blue alternate jersey or a game-used Pittsburgh Penguins 96 alternate jersey? Shawn, which one you going with?
Oh, the Thrashers jersey, obviously. They are the precursor to the Jets. And, of course, you think of all the great names you can get on that jersey. A Passy Nurmanen game-worn Thrashers jersey would just complete my collection.
All right, Ben, who you choosing? Thrashers or Penguins?
I think I have to go with the Penguins. Just a much classic team. I think the Thrashers, especially with their alternate, just go way off the deep end into crazy for no good reason.
Well, that's why I think I would choose the Thrashers because it's so crazy. I want to put it in. I want to put it in my collection. TC, who do you got on this one?
Thrashers, 100%. I believe in Blue Land.
Well, that makes
Jets
one.
was making fun. There are some names you can get on that jersey. Marian Hossa, Ilya Kovalchuk.
Peter Bondra.
Also.
Very nice.
Peter Bondra was a Thrasher.
Greg DeVries.
There's a name.
Lettinen.
Already let him in.
Moose Hedberg.
Moose. Oh, man. All right, Steve. Are you going to go with the flow or are you going to go with your Penguins?
Nope, I'm going with the Penguins. I love that jersey too much.
And from that era, who would you like? Who would be the ideal guy? Well, I mean, Yager or Lemieux would be ideal, but
either one of those two would go. But I mean, you still see it today. Like I literally just saw it on the bus home. Some guy was wearing one, and it wasn't even in bad condition either, which was surprising. I clearly remember watching them play the New Jersey Devils, wearing those jerseys and thinking, wow, those are the coolest things I've ever seen.
It would be eligible. Like, it would be a good jersey for CCM to bring out in the vintage line. It definitely would be. But so would that Thrashers jersey. I think that would have some bit of ironic or nostalgic feel to it that would make it a seller. All right, number 2 on this list, a team-issued Nashville Predators Adidas jersey. That means it wasn't used in a game. It was just issued to the team, and then they never gave it to a player. So team issued Nashville Predators yellow Adidas jersey or game used Predators Adidas jersey that's been ripped all the way down from the collar to the hem. Shawn, what are you going with? Game used ripped jersey or team issued jersey?
I'm going to go with ripped jersey because I want to know how it ripped. You know, I'm picturing, a guy like, I don't know, Scott Hartnell just grappling with Matthew Tkachuk or some guy like that, and you hear the tear on the TV and you're like, no, that's a story. Or maybe he ripped it off out of anger, just something. Like
Hulk Hogan?
What's that?
Like Hulk Hogan?
No,
he just
Pecorine.
got in the penalty box and ripped it?
I got one thing to say.
All right, Ben, what are you choosing? Team issued or game used ripped jersey?
I would go with this is a tough one because the Predators aren't really a team I'm a fan of. I don't really care about them one way or the other. I don't think this is a jersey I wear too much. I think I'm going to go with the game used ripped. Especially if it was Pecorine, because my favorite player is always the goalie. I don't really think this is something I'm wearing. I think this is something just in my collection to have, and a jersey with no real meaning to it is not going to look good in a display case.
A ripped game-used goalie jersey would be that would have to be a fantastic story. That would either be a goalie fight or he ordered his jersey too small and he went to make a save, and then it'd be like fat guy in a little coat just rips right down the front. TC, who are you going with? Team issued jersey or game used rip jersey?
I gotta go game used rip. It's a conversation piece, to be honest. I would never wear it. I think I would never be caught dead in a Predators Adidas jersey either way. So if I'm not gonna wear it, I might as well have one that is ripped, and so I have an excuse not to wear it, and it has an interesting story behind it.
Yeah, it's definitely got to have a story. You'd need a certificate of authenticity, and then you got to know the story, and then photo match it and the whole deal. Otherwise, it's just a ripped jersey.
Get a nice shadow box, have it framed.
Maybe that's the jersey I would frame. Steve, your choice.
I'd have to go with the ripped jersey because I could picture this just the Predators are on a losing streak. And just Pecorina's had it and just gets into the water, just rips it right off.
Just to wake up the
sits
team.
down, and no one says a word. They just sit there in utter amazement at it.
So across the board, it's the game-used rip jersey over the team-issued jersey. Of course, and all these would-you-rathers are assuming that both jerseys cost the same amount. So there's no issue there. All right, let's go to our third one. This is a bit more laid back, bit more basic. Would you rather have a Reebok authentic Bruins home jersey or an Adidas authentic Bruins home jersey? Shawn.
Adidas, because you can get Brian Giunta on that one.
Goingsta.
Obviously. Yeah, Brian Goingsta wore it. There's only one acceptable name for a Bruins jersey at this point, and it's Brian Goingsta.
Ben, Adidas or Reebok? Both authentic. What are you choosing?
I'll have to go with Reebok. I still can't stand the Adidas collar. I don't think I'm ever going to warm up to that.
TC?
I'm going to have to go with Reebok. I'm in the same boat as Ben. I just think that the Reebok cut is a lot better, and tie-downs kind of look stupid with the Adidas collar.
Yeah, they're pretty weak. Steve?
I'm going to have to go with Reebok on the fact that the Adidas, like the yokes themselves, they're not as prevalent on the Adidas ones. Like, they don't stick out as much as they do on the Reebok. The Reeboks look more like yokes instead of just little patches they put on to look nice. The same thing with the collar. The collars just don't look like they fit well with such a traditional style jersey, and it just annoys me to no end.
Yeah, I'm warming up to the Adidas collars a little bit. Like, I think Montreal's collar looks ridiculous. Detroit does it okay, but Ottawa's looks ridiculous. Toronto's is okay. If anyone's going to do a solid color, I would prefer to do it the Toronto way, where it just starts in the back. I think the best use of the Adidas collar is Edmonton, but I'm choosing for this one the Reebok authentic jersey just based on sizing alone. I've mentioned it before. Adidas sizing just drives me nuts, and I've had enough of it. So I'm choosing Reebok authentic on this one. All right, here's our final. Would you rather? This one's extremely specific, and you absolutely must choose one. And remember, these are assuming these are both the same price. Would you rather have a game-used Wayne Gretzky blue Lady Liberty jersey that has been sitting in a public urinal for 2 hours, or a team-issued 87 Oilers jersey with semen from an undisclosed source just below the collar? So we have the urinal jersey versus the semen jersey. Shawn, your choice.
And how old is the semen?
Well, it's an 87 team-issued jersey, so we're looking anytime in the past 31 years.
See, one of those at least I think can come out. No pun intended.
It's true.
And it's time for how many puns can Shawn make?
Oh, not again.
If we're playing that game, I think he came too soon.
I'm going to go with the 87 jersey.
The semen jersey, good choice.
Yes, because it'll wash out.
You're looking to wash out the semen. All right, interesting. I think I might want to find out who the semen is from before I wash it, but
I see what you mean. All right. You know what? I'll give you that.
Indeterminate source.
Look, I don't need some Dave Semenko semen on my jersey.
You could clone some little Dave Semenkos, and then you could have some little Shawn Semenkos running around the ice, hitting people from behind.
I don't need Gary Cummies on my jersey. Like, it's just...
All right. Let's go to Ben. See what Ben wants. Ben, you got the game-used Gretzky urinal jersey, or the 87 team-issued Oilers jersey with the undisclosed semen on it. Which one are you going with?
I'm going to pretend that part of it cut out and I couldn't hear yours, so I'm going to go with the Oilers jersey because Gretzky is always going to be remembered as an Oiler.
Ben for the semen jersey. All right. Now, interesting, you don't know who the semen is from, so you'd have to put in a little extra cash if you were looking to do some DNA testing. But if it was Gretzky's semen, you could create your own little Gretzky, if you wanted to put even more money into it. But that's a topic for another day. TC, urinal jersey from the Rangers or semen Oilers jersey?
Now, is it a home or away? Because that's going to affect how hard it is to get the semen stain out of it.
It's a home. It's a white home jersey from the Oilers.
Personally, sorry about that. We run a zoo at my house. I would have to go with the Rangers jersey because I'm a little more comfortable with urine than I am with semen on my jersey. And, you know, that Lady Liberty is just such a gorgeous design.
It could have been stained by the urinal puck though. Like if it was like a blue or pink urinal puck.
See, but the blue urinal puck, I don't think it would make that big of an issue.
No, it'd probably be the urine.
It's a urinal, so it. Oh wait, is it a stadium urinal? Because stadium urinals, there's always going to be a turd in there as well. So we're throwing a turd into the mix.
It would probably.
Wait, what kind? Are they going to be the old-fashioned ones, like the ones you saw in the Civic Arena, where they had to pour ice in them every 2 hours?
It's just a trough. It's just a trough. It's
just a trough.
It's the metal troughs from Maple Leaf Gardens.
Let's assume that it's a Madison Square Garden urinal, but it is a Gretzky game-issued jersey. It's only been 2 hours, but at the same time, you also have to put your hand in there and grab it out, right? So, I mean, it's a toss-up, but TC's going with the Rangers jersey. All right, Steve, what are you going with? Rangers urinal jersey or Oilers semen jersey?
Rangers urinal.
Why do you want the Rangers urinal? You do have to pick it out with your bare hands.
I'm willing to do that. Believe me, I've done worse.
For the Gretzky game use.
Not for a hockey jersey, but
lots of people drop their phones.
I've had to put my hands in worse places.
Yeah, I've yet to drop my phone in the toilet, so, but I fear that day. But you're going with the Lady Liberty jersey.
Joke's on you. He's a urophiliac.
Sorry, I'm not.
All right.
Towers Gretzky.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go with the. Oh, this is a tough one, but I'll go with the urinal jersey. I mean, I've explored the semen options already with the DNA testing and the cloning, but I think I could live with grabbing a game-used Gretzky jersey out of the urinal for this one. So I'm going game-used Gretzky jersey, and maybe a few washes will get the urine out, or maybe not. Then what do you do if the thing still smells like piss after 5 washes? And you're throwing all the Tide Pods in there that you could. What do you do?
You then frame it.
That's just a waste of perfectly good snacks, Ryan.
Yeah.
Come on.
Let me get mine out.
Guys, don't eat the Tide Pods. I'm not even going to get into that. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Oh, God.
Oh, he's got the box. See, I get mine.
Sean, don't do it. Don't do it.
Sean's got the Tide Pods. This is the worst podcast ever.
The Tide Podcast.
The tide's about to turn for Shawn. All right.
That one of the Islanders black jersey one too many times.
He's going to eat a Tide Pod. He'll do it.
What is the Canadian poison control number?
I'm sure it's on the box.
We usually drink Canadian and then wait for the vomiting to happen.
All right, that was our Would You Rather segment. Very informative, very clean, very classy. So I thought we all did a good job there. Of course, still to come on the podcast is your chance to win a free HJC sticker. But up next, we'll do a quick review of the season. You're listening to the HJC Podcast every Saturday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern on HockeyJerseyConcepts.com. Listen, download, and subscribe on iTunes, Google Play, Spreaker, Stitcher, and TuneIn Radio. All right, so our most recent competition going on has been the season. It's been going on for the last 5 weeks. We still got 2 weeks of playoffs to go. But we're going to review some concepts. If you are in the season, don't mention anything. We're still going on, and we'll reveal everything at the end. But let's talk about all the concepts from the regular season, and we'll talk about the biggest surprise concept and perhaps how it's been doing so far. So, Shawn, if you've had a chance to take a look at some of the concepts in the season, maybe just one surprise that stuck out for you.
I'm surprised the North Bay Centennials couldn't win a game. I actually really liked what they were going for. I like that color scheme that they use. It's like that. It's the Bruins color scheme when they tried to add red in the late 90s, and I think that really works for the Centennials. And it really was. I really could have. Now, they were in a tough division with Minnesota, LA, and Ottawa, and Ontario, so it's understandable. But, I think they deserve to win. On the flip side, Vancouver, I thought that, well, it's a great design. I didn't think they'd go undefeated.
Yeah, and they actually lost in week 5 to Orlando, which has been the strongest concept of the bunch. Ben, have you had a chance to review the concepts and just your biggest surprise?
I think the biggest surprise to me was the Pensacola Ice Flyers. They only had 3 points. They went 1, 2, and 1. I think that was a stronger concept. Except that was a tough division. You have Orlando and then Vancouver. Toronto Marlies even. I thought that one would do better. But, definitely some surprises for sure here.
Yeah. TC, have you had a chance to review some of the season concepts and maybe a surprise that stuck out in your mind?
I have. First off, Ben, thank you. I was actually the designer of the Ice Flyers. I was surprised that I didn't do as well as I was expecting, but it was. I believe that's the division where it was everyone was a writer.
Yeah, that's correct,
wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. So that makes sense. And then to echo Shawn, I'm amazed that the Canucks one has done so well. It's like there's nothing inherently wrong with it. It's just not as eye-grabbing as I would like to. They didn't take as much of a risk as I would like to see in competitions like this. It's pretty close to the original design, and I'm just not a fan for tournaments like this. For an everyday concept, yes, I'd probably give it concept of the week. But for a competition, I'd like to know a little more.
Yeah, it's a fine concept. Of course, I think it benefits from a great layout and a great execution, which are all part of a concept, but shouldn't be the main part of a concept. Steve, biggest surprise of the season?
I'd have to say same with Vancouver. Just because of how simple it is. But also, I like the Ontario Rain one. I was kind of disappointed how poor it did.
Yeah, it wasn't as strong, but it wasn't a tough division. I'll stick with that division, and my surprise is the Minnesota North Stars. Solid concept, but it went 5-0. I think it was the second best finishing concept in the whole season. Definitely didn't see it finishing that strong, but for me, Minnesota was the biggest surprise, and I thought the Brazil jerseys. I was
thinking Orlando's going all the way.
Orlando was the strongest finisher in the season, so that's very probable. And I liked the Brazil concepts. I didn't know how well they would do.
No,
I enjoyed the Brazil concepts.
No, that gradient was atrocious.
I think it's appropriate for a Brazilian hockey team.
Well, that's why Brazil doesn't play hockey, because they come out with garbage like that.
What's that, Shawn?
I mean, here's the thing about Team Brazil is it was a risk. I had to give whoever's idea it was that they wanted to pick Team Brazil, good on you.
Yeah.
Good on anyone who didn't pick an NHL team in this, I think, because I find that they're harder to design with.
Well,
I went SPHL.
I didn't pick
That's
one,
about
but
as
at the same time I did.
All right, let's talk about biggest disappointment, and maybe this also falls into biggest surprise. But if you have a disappointment in this tournament or in this competition, Shawn, we'll go to you.
Yeah, I'm really disappointed nobody made an Islanders Black concept. No, there's none here that I thought. I'm kind of disappointed in the Riveters concept going 0-4 because I thought it was good enough to get a win. But then again, that was the toughest division.
0-4-1, yeah, 0-4-1.
Yeah, that's the toughest division, and it makes sense. I mean, other than that, I think Brazil could have got another win. North Bay definitely should have won one, I think.
It might have been the template for North Bay.
I think so. I think that whoever made that, retool your template for Adidas and send that back in, you'll probably get a good review from me. Just saying.
Ben, did you have a disappointment from the season?
Yeah, I don't have the latest vote numbers in front of me, but after 4 weeks, the Metropolitan Riveters concept had the most votes against with 111. I think, that, and then as I mentioned earlier, I think the Pensacola concept could have done better. But of course, being in Pool B, that was really tough to do well in.
Let's see here. Who are we talking about? Metropolitan or the Riveters? They're going to have 22 more votes against, 11-4. Their competition for worst finisher would be Calgary, who was also in that mega matchup for week 5, and Calgary lost that matchup with only 5 votes. So Calgary's going to finish as the worst team, and the Riveters are going to finish as the second worst team. TC, do you have a disappointment from the season?
Disappointment? Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed in the Riveters. I think that, this was a chance to promote the NWHL, but, whoever designed that one just kind of missed the mark and fell flat. It really should be an easier team to design for, but I guess they just couldn't pull it off.
Yeah, the logo's huge. It went a little bit overboard with the blocky colors, but we'll see. Steve, biggest disappointment?
Honestly, I'd have to go with the Riveters.
Yeah, the Riveters. Yeah.
It's just like it's there. Like, it looks like there was a lot of effort put into it, but it was just put in. And I hate to compare it to this, but it's like the Cleveland Brown of the Cleveland Brown of the AFC North.
Yeah, it clearly wasn't strong enough. For me, the biggest disappointment here would be I'm going to say Calgary. It was at the bottom of the heap, but the white jersey was essentially a rehash of the Calgary Flames. It's already the Calgary Inferno. You don't need to rehash the Flames on this. And then the red jersey was just a flop of red and yellow. And it looks like a recolor. It doesn't look like a strong home concept. And one disappointment for me was that the Ottawa concept, the file was actually incredibly small. So when it went up against other concepts, it just looked tiny. And I think it put it at a disadvantage as far as I'm concerned. So as I mentioned, Orlando finished first in their pool. Minnesota finished first in their pool, and I believe Charlotte finished first in their pool. And then all the second place teams also advanced. But who do you guys like to win it all? Shawn.
I'm going to throw my vote at the obvious thing. I'm going to say Orlando. That's just a really well-made concept. I think it has a lot of creativity going into it. It's one of the best uses I've seen of the complex Orlando Solar Bears concept. And if I had to think who they're going to beat, I don't know what the layout is exactly. But the one person I'd like to see them face, if they're in it, is the Marlies. Because that set, I don't think got the love it deserved.
They're up against Charlotte and whoever finished 5th, I think. I can't remember exactly. Probably should have looked that up before we started this. Ben, and of course the jerseys change come playoff time, right? Everyone who made the playoffs has to submit a new playoff jersey. So, Ben, who do you like to win it all?
We'll have to see if the Curse of the President's Cup comes into play here, but until otherwise, I'm going to have to go with Orlando as well. I think what really sold that concept for me was the use of color, and they'll have to come in back with a different design, but whoever designed it, I think they have a great understanding of color, and I have no reason to think that they can't bring something like that in the playoffs.
Definitely looking forward to their playoff concept. TC, who do you like to win it?
I'm going to make it a trio and say the Solar Bears. That's a great looking concept, great presentation, and the Solar Bears have a very distinct and very difficult color scheme to work with. I have racked my brain before trying to find a way to make it work, and this concept actually manages to pull that off.
Steve?
I'd have to just agree with what the guys say.
So
there's not really much I can add.
Yeah,
but
clean sweep on Orlando here. It would be hard to say that whoever's going to submit, the artist who's going to submit the Orlando playoff concept, you don't just see it falling off the edge. I mean, from what we've seen, they've left it open for more quality concepts, and there's no reason to think that they won't be able to do it in the playoffs. That's our review of the season. It'll be back next year. This is our second edition of it. I thought it went really well this year, and I'm interested to see what happens in the playoffs. We got the semifinals, which are both mega matchups, and then the two winners go against each other in the final. And this year, we're not going to have people create new concepts for the final. So if two dark jerseys advance to the final, then it'll just be two dark jerseys against each other in the final. As I've been mentioning, still to come is your chance to win a free HJC sticker, and we're coming right back with the Throwback Throwdown. It's time for Throwback Throwdown, and today we're going with two very similar jerseys that are about 40 years in age difference. We have the Kansas City Scouts of the NHL, formerly of the NHL, going up against the Colorado Eagles of the ECHL, and there's actually rumors that Colorado is going to be bumped up to the AHL next year, but we'll have to see how that goes. So starting
I
with...
thought that was confirmed.
Is it confirmed? Okay, that'd be pretty awesome.
That's true.
Okay.
It's true. They're going to be Vegas's,
Yeah.
and then Chicago's going back to St. Louis.
Oh, they're going back?
Something like that.
Interesting. Because St. Louis ended their affiliation with Chicago, with the Chicago Wolves early in the season too, just abruptly. So we'll start with Kansas City. This has the classic Kansas City Scouts logo on the front. The arm and hem stripes are a thick red line outlined in blue and then a yellow line. And the yellow line has a very thin red line running right through it. The yoke is very interesting here. Let's call it a red yoke, but then on the front and back of the yoke is that yellow line that I talked about with thin red line going through it. And that's got a blue line beside it. That's the best way I can describe the yoke. Very complicated yoke. The blue jersey is much the same, exact same striping. And the only difference being the red collar on the blue jersey and the blue collar on the white jersey. The Colorado Eagles of the ECHL might have one of the best jerseys in the ECHL. They use the CCM Edge template, and they have a three-tone collar that goes yellow, red, yellow on the blue jersey and blue, red, blue on the white jersey. Big, broad stripes here. So on their blue jersey, they have broad red stripes outlined in yellow stripes that are thinner. And on their white jersey, this is the striping that I really like. Broad red stripe outlined on both sides by broad yellow stripes, and that's outlined by thinner blue stripes. Really fantastic looking jersey there. But let's see who wins this Throwback Throwdown. Shawn, we're going to you for your Kansas City Scouts review.
Yeah, these are jerseys that I think, despite being 40-plus years old at this point, have really held up. Again, the one problem, and this is my problem with both the jerseys, is the color balancing fails a lot here. And I feel like it's more pronounced on the Kansas City jerseys. But the yoke striping alone is an identity that I really liked. And on top of that, it's one of those jerseys that I think actually looks better without a name on the back.
I would agree with that. Ben, your thoughts on the Kansas City jersey?
What's really interesting here is the color scheme, which is triadic. It's one of like the first color schemes you learn in any basic art class, but when you look around, designers don't seem to use it that often, and it's really a shame because Kansas City really makes it work here. Love how the yellow and red go together here. I don't think it comes off as tacky. One thing I don't like about it is so much white on the white jersey. I think it would be a lot stronger if it tried just to focus on the main three colors, but unfortunately you need to do a white jersey I guess at the time of the home games, but that blue jersey though was gorgeous.
Yeah, very solid from Kansas City. TC, your thoughts?
I'm a really big fan of the consistent striping across the set. I love it when teams are able to pull that off. Again, like Ben said, it's a solid color scheme, and they managed to use it without it looking too tacky. Yoke striping, I gotta be honest, I go back and forth on whether I like it or not. There are times where I think it's gorgeous and times that I'm afraid if I saw it in action, I'd go into an epileptic fit.
Steve, go ahead.
I'm going to be unpopular here, and I'm not really sure how I feel about this. Just because, like I said, I do like the balance of the color, but just the design, I'll say it's fitting for the time. It's fitting for the time, but if you were to try something similar to this today with the thin red and the yellow and everything, I don't know how it will work. But overall, for the time period, yeah, it works great. I think it's beautiful because it's consistent across, and just same issue with the white. A little too much white on the white jersey for me.
I feel like this could be a strong jersey. The yoke is a bit of a wild card. It works better on the blue jersey, as far as I'm concerned. But I think it could work in today's era, and that's why I think I know Colorado Eagles base theirs off of the Colorado Rockies jerseys, but the Colorado Rockies base their jerseys off of Kansas City Scouts because that's where the Scouts moved to. I think it could work. I think it could work in today's day and age. Of course, the yokes would be the wild card. Let's go to the Colorado Eagles now of the ECHL. Shawn, what do you think?
Well, I feel like, honestly, this is another one of those cases where simple is better. The Eagles have one of the cleanest logos in hockey, let alone the minor leagues. And I think that, again, the color balancing here is what kills it for me. But the Eagles have done something smart, and they've made the gear blue, and that really saves it for me. As a jersey itself, I do find it to be a little plain. I do think that there is a way to work that so blue becomes the majority color of the jersey, but I can't complain. These are both really solid jerseys.
Ben?
The striping pattern here is a classic. I mean, think of watching Slapshot. This is like basically a jersey you see. What I really don't like about it is they have such a strong pattern in their logo, with the red, yellow, and blue, that triadic scheme, and they don't try to copy that at all onto the jerseys, which I think really brings it down. The logo's quite large. It's like fighting the stripes. I think there's too much clashing there, and I usually like word marks on jerseys, but here I think it's just thrown on haphazardly with no real thought put into it.
TC?
I'm gonna have to say I definitely like the white jersey better than the blue on this set. For white being so prevalent on the logo, I think the complete lack of it in the jersey on the blue one is a bit of a misstep, and I have to agree with Ben. The word mark, it just becomes clunky and it starts to infringe on the space of the striping. And again, with that color blocking in the logo, I think if they had worked that into the collar on the white jersey instead of just the blue, red, blue, it would have looked a lot better.
Steve, what do you think of the Colorado Eagles?
I like these jerseys a lot. It's simple. It pays a nod to it. But I do agree with TC and Ben on the logo that they could do away with the Colorado Eagles script at the bottom and it'd be 10 times better. But also, the logo has always annoyed me with those three stripes because they've never done anything with them relating to the jersey. And it's always felt so random there that it's one of those things where it's like last week where we talked about that hidden oil drop. That's how it makes me feel. But other than that, when it comes to the jerseys, keep it simple, stupid.
I really like these jerseys. I'm with everyone that mentioned that the word mark can go. Can get rid of that. I understand the natural want for the stripes on the jersey to match the markings in the logo, but that's the easy route. So I don't know if they've already done that. I haven't looked through their history. But for me, that's the easy route. I love the throwback to the Colorado Rockies here. And I think both jerseys are solid enough that I would want them in my collection. I do prefer the white one over the blue one. So here we go. Kansas City Scouts versus Colorado Eagles. Shawn, who are you choosing?
I'm going to give it to the Scouts. I will say that these are two of the best sets to use that color scheme, and they did a lot better than Norfolk.
Ben, who do you got?
I'm going to go based on the differences between them. The logos are awful. Can't stand either. The white jerseys are awful. Can't stand either. The Scouts blue jersey is great, so I'll have to go with Kansas City.
2 for Kansas City. TC, who do you got?
This is a tough one, but I got to go Kansas City, if only for that the blue in their logo actually matches the blue on their uniform.
And Steve, Kansas City's already won, but you gonna even this out or make it a clean sweep?
Nope, I'm going with Colorado. I can't get past the yoke. The yoke's too much of a wild card for me.
Steve's going Colorado. I would also go in Colorado, so I guess final score on this one looks a little closer than it is. 3-2 for Kansas City on this edition of Throwback Throwdown. And now it's time for your chance to win a free HJC sticker. For your chance to win the HJC sticker, simply keep an eye on Twitter. At some point in this coming week, the HJC Twitter account will send out a tweet with a direct link to this podcast, and it will mention winning a free HJC sticker. Be sure to retweet that message. Lots of people have been liking the message. You have to retweet the tweet to be eligible to win the sticker. So at some point this week, we're going to tweet out a message. It includes a direct link to this podcast, and it'll mention winning a free sticker. You have to retweet that tweet. And a winner will be randomly selected from those that retweeted and will be announced here on the podcast next Saturday. That was Throwback Throwdown, and now we're going to go to my favorite segment, Fake or Authentic.
Fake or authentic?
Fake or authentic, this is where I give 3 statements, and the writers say whether the statements are fake or authentic. Here we go. Statement number 1. Please, just one outdoor game. Shawn, fake or authentic?
Please, just one outdoor game.
A year.
A year. Fake. I want 2. I want the Stadium Series and I want the Winter Classic.
One's not enough. Give me 2.
Double it.
How about 3? That's too much. I said 2.
Yeah, you know why? Because I like having 4 new jerseys a year coming out in this. And you know what? There's been some pretty solid Stadium Series jerseys. And the games, it's really funny because when the Winter Classic is great, the Stadium Series is not so great. When the Winter Classic is like when it was with Boston and Montreal or St. Louis and Chicago, the Stadium Series turned out to be pretty good. So you know what? And you know what? It doesn't have to be a Stadium Series every year. Throw a Heritage, please give another Heritage Classic or something. Just 2 outdoor games. I think is the perfect number.
2 for Shawn. All right, Ben, fake or authentic on this one?
I'm going to say fake for a different reason than Shawn. I want no outdoor games.
You're
I've
done.
just had it with them. I think that the more and more we have them, the more clear to me it's become that the reason these were liked so much at first was for the novelty of it, and now we're at the point where the novelty is worn off and there's really nothing left to them.
Yeah.
It's just it. Ben hates new jerseys. I'd expect this from a Detroit fan.
He fears change. All right, let's go to TC. Fake or authentic? Please, just one outdoor game a year.
I'm going to have to go fake on this one. Like Shawn, I love that the outdoor games give a chance to have specialty uniforms. And seeing as we are here for jersey design, that's kind of the point of all of this. So I'm going to have to say the more the merrier, but don't get too out of hand with it and don't give a shite like this last Stadium Series.
Agreed. Yeah, the Stadium Series was trash. Steve,
Toronto won.
What's that about Toronto? What?
Toronto won. Would you be loving that game?
No, that was a terrible. If Toronto won, that would be just like another win in the season. But I still think The look of it was terrible. They didn't utilize the look of the stadium very well. They didn't plan out the camera angles very well. The uniforms sucked. The game actually sucked. And holding it at night was a bit of a downer, especially 8 o'clock. And to cap it all off, NBC didn't even stick with the game. 5 minutes left, they switched it over to NBC Sports Network. So just a trash game all around. But Steve, fake or authentic, please, just one outdoor game a year.
I'm going to say authentic.
And why?
I say this. This is the reason why. Because, like Ben said, the novelty is starting to wear off. They have played that to death. I've imagined one outdoor game a year held somewhere, and it's going to be like they have the next 3 years already slot out. And in that same time, you have throwback games, much like the MLB does. That would be nice. That would be a nice compromise compared to having multiple outdoor games, because instead you have different looks. You could have, say, like the Anaheim Ducks put on the Mighty Ducks, go against the Florida Panthers or something like that. Era against era is what I'm trying to say, Shawn.
Yeah, and I would agree with you there, actually, Steve. And I think the Stadium Series doesn't need to happen every year. I think it would be really interesting if it was every other year or every 3 years, or just if you have an unconventional outdoor game, then bring out the Stadium Series. And just based on everyone's responses, I think it would also be cool. I always thought the Winter Classic looked cool when it was at Wrigley, when it was at Fenway. I thought those looked really cool. When there was 100,000 people at Ann Arbor, I thought that looked really cool. So if they can find places that have an awesome setting, and then instead of, if it would be a neutral site game, maybe some of the time. So find a place that has an awesome setting, and then maybe you have 2 Winter Classic games, Toronto versus Detroit, and then whoever, I don't know, Dallas versus St. Louis, or Phoenix. Whatever you're going to do.
Blue Jackets and Hurricanes.
Blue Jackets and Hurricanes.
At Gettysburg.
They'd probably do it at Hershey.
You want to give Bettman a semi? It's Phoenix, Vegas, in New York.
No. In Quebec.
Look at the 2 ugliest things he made.
Phoenix versus Florida in Quebec, just to show them what they'll never have.
No, when Seattle gets a team, Vegas versus Seattle in Quebec.
Yeah, go Seattle.
And Bettman just walks around drunk and naked for the whole game, flipping people off, learning French swear words.
I didn't come in with pants, and I'm not leaving with pants.
All right, fake or authentic? Fake or authentic? Here we go. I would take a chance on a $25 jersey from eBay that only had one picture. Shawn, fake or authentic?
I'm going to go with authentic if it's a photo of the front of the jersey, because as we all know, I write a series on fake jerseys. I can usually tell what a fake is. Adidas, I don't know them as well. 25 Canadian on an Adidas jersey. Probably an infant jersey or toilet paper. I don't know. But you know what? For like a 2005 Carolina Hurricanes home, yeah, probably. Also depends on what shipping is.
Ben, fake or authentic?
Authentic. I think one photo of the front is typically enough to distinguish fakes, and $25. Price is right. It really doesn't get any better than that.
TC?
I'm going to have to go with authentic. As the other guys have said, it's our business to know whether they're authentic or not. And frankly, if I didn't get it right, I deserve that loss.
All right, Steve, fake or authentic? Would you take the chance?
Authentic. Same with them. We know from the obvious what is fake and what is real. Now, if it were something like where it would be a staged picture, like a studio picture that they would put there, I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole, even if it was $5. So, but other than that, yeah, why not? That's not too big of a loss on you.
Agreed. $25 jersey on eBay with the stock photo attached to it. No good. No good. All right, let's go to our final fake or authentic statement. If I were to meet an NHL player, I do not want their autograph, just a photo. Fake or authentic, Hatboy? I mean, Shawn.
I'm going to say authentic because I don't carry around a Sharpie with me everywhere and something for them to sign.
What if they did? Like, if you're Connor McDavid, aren't you walking around with a Sharpie?
But I'm not going to meet Connor McDavid. I want to meet, like, you know, guys I liked growing up. Like, I want to meet Fred Brathwaite. You know, I want to meet those guys.
I'm sure that wouldn't be hard. Like, you could probably just write to them. Send them a Sharpie.
Mint home.
I just, you know, I mean, it'd be just nice to grab a photo with them. Hopefully I'm wearing one of their jerseys, you know. I just got a Jonas Högland Leafs jersey customized. If I ran into Jonas Högland, I'd love to get a picture with the guy. He's not signing my jersey because then I can't wear it anymore.
No, don't sign the jerseys. Whoa. Ben, fake or authentic? Just an autograph or just a photo, not an autograph?
Absolutely fake. Autographs are awesome. Last time I met an NHL player was in Detroit. Andrew Hammond, Bowling Green alum. I went with Bleacher Creatures, which is the fan group the student fan group for Bowling Green. I had him sign my ticket stub. Still have that today. And then we also got him to sign some pucks, and we raffled those off for a charity group on campus. So, you know, autographs are awesome.
TC, fake or authentic?
I'm gonna go authentic. Never understood the appeal behind autographs. Like, all it does is prove that the person is semi-literate. Like, I've never understood, oh, I have this person's handwriting on this item. And also, they're people too. They just want to get on with their lives. Like, don't hassle them to write down their name every 2 seconds.
Steve, fake or authentic?
Authentic. Because you know why? Do you know what the most expensive autograph is?
Michael Jordan?
Joe Jackson. Shoeless Joe Jackson. The baseball player. You know why? He was physically illiterate. He did not know how to write. He never knew how to write. The only person that signed for him was his wife. They only have 3 authenticated signatures of him. So in general, a picture would be nice, but honestly, if I saw them, I'd shake their hand, say honor to meet you, keep going. They're human beings. I don't want to treat them awkwardly. I'd want to treat them with the same amount of respect as every other human being I would.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about autographs. I really don't care. For my son, though, he would probably love it. So he's 5 years old. I think autographs are great for the kids. It means something to them. But for me as a 34-year-old man, just a quick picture would do the trick.
All right, so Jeffries.
Oh, I'd get Steve Ott's autograph just so I could steal his identity and forge checks.
Well, now you've laid out your
that
plan
here, Steve Otts.
on this worldwide podcast. Look out, Steve Ott. And for whoever said Jeffries, Shawn, no, just a picture would be fine. Maybe
a podcast appearance would be best of all.
Yeah, Jeffries, if you listen, you want to come on the podcast, I'd love to interview you. I wrote you when I was 6 years old, and I drew you a picture, and you got on your computer and wrote me a letter back and signed a picture, and it was awesome. All right, moving on from Jeff Reese. That was fake or authentic. We covered everything. Yeah, we covered everybody on that one. That was fake or authentic. Let's get to the mailbag. And let's go right to the top. This question came in about a month ago. And if you repeat this question at your local pizza parlor, you'll get 15% off. Here we go from Cornelius Wilson. Starter fashion jerseys. Do you like them? How much would you pay for them? And how would you get them customized, if at all? Are there any you would have liked a team to have adopted? Cornelius has terrible, terrible grammar. But he does get 15% off pizza, so that's not too bad. All right, starter fashion jerseys. Shawn, you must like this question. What are your thoughts on them?
I've seen some I like. I've seen some I would actually like to own. The problem is that they're inhibitively expensive. at this point. I like the Sabres goat head red jersey. That was just their white jersey in red. There's something about the Blackhawks yellow jersey. That's kind of a jersey collector's dream, I think, to own one of those at some point. The Red Wings light blue jersey, actually, that one kind of intrigued me. And I do believe that there existed a Leafs black jersey, and of course, why wouldn't I want that? The problem with getting them customized is that they didn't produce lettering kits for them, so you have to guess. On top of that, you don't know what year they're meant for, so you don't know the roster you have available. So honestly, I wouldn't probably get them customized.
Based on all your reasons, they sound stupid. Ben, thoughts on starter fashion jerseys?
I just don't see the appeal behind these with even like a Reebok Authentic. I just can't see the appeal here behind what the team is actually wearing.
Yeah, the team never wore them, so I'm not interested. TC, starter fashion jerseys?
I'm not a fan. I've never seen one that really made me say, wow, I have to own that. It's still not just like there are so many good authentic jerseys that the Rangers have. Why would I need to stray outside of what actually exists? How much would I pay for one? I don't know, $5 and a Hardy hand clasp. Like,
I don't think I'd even pay $5. It would just sit around. Someone else can pick them up. I'm out. I'm 100% out on starter fashion jerseys. Steve?
I'm agreeing with you on that one. I'm just out. I can't bring myself to buying a jersey that was never actually used, unless it was a concept, like essentially something that was a prototype, like the Penguins, when they made a black version of their triangular yoke jersey, or when they made a white version of their diagonal. If they had prototypes of those that they were selling, I'd buy one. But as a fashion jersey, say like the Red Lady Liberty, no. It looks nice, but it's never been worn, and that's just going to bug me.
no one needs a turquoise Red Wings jersey.
Hey, now.
But Ben does.
Ben needs two.
Two.
No.
He needs one for Yzerman and one for Vernon.
Yzerman. Spell it wrong. Eyezerman. Zer, whatever.
Zed?
Zed. I knew it. I knew TC was going to jump in. As soon as Zed came out of my mouth, I knew TC was jumping in.
Zed.
I'm sorry.
Wait,
I'm sorry. I speak
powder
freedom.
blue in dark blue in white Flyers jersey.
Yeah.
That's what the fashion one was. Powder blue.
Yeah, I'd go for that.
What are you?
Why not?
What is
Dude,
wrong with you? I'm the colorblind one here. And like, I can even see that.
It still has the goddamn regular coloring for the Flyers.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Shawn, you can start your own series on the starter fashion jerseys.
Starter fashion. So it'll be like the fake series.
But-
Except they'll be like, here's a cool starter fashion jersey I found. Pay $300 for them. Because
Yeah.
a wrap.
It's a purposeful fake.
You're
You're not wrong. It's an authentic fake.
Yeah. No, and no.
Not even the yellow Blackhawks jersey.
No. Cornelius, go get your pizza.
What a silly scam.
All right, next question. Burkus Circus. He's got a lot of questions here in the mailbag. Thanks, Burkus. Where's the best place / website to buy NHL jerseys online, specifically the white USA World Cup of Hockey jersey? Try sportsk.com. I don't know if they have the white one or if they have it in your size, but that's where I've seen it. And also try shopnhl.com or whatever the website is these days. It's probably the worst of the bunch, but they might have some leftover white USA World Cup of Hockey jerseys. Anybody else have you seen them around?
Burkus, if you are an XL, Sportsgate has it for $85 US. If you're a 4XL also, they have it for $95 US.
There you go. The white USA World Cup of Hockey jersey.
And if you're not an XL yet, you can grow into it because that is the most common size of NHL jerseys amongst adult men. It's worth getting because, even if you're not an XL now, you probably will be.
There you go. All right, let's go to someone else's question. Noah B. He asks, any information about the pairs competition yet? And the pairs competition we're going to be doing this summer. I'm going to try and run it for possibly 6 weeks, and there might be a smaller competition in between. But it's pretty much going to be, I've decided it's going to be a create an outdoor game. And that's all I've decided at this point. So that's all the information I have on the pairs comp for you, Noah.
It's an outdoor game on Mars.
You could do that if you wanted to.
Sponsored by Tesla.
Question that came in just today. If Hockey Night in Canada decides to continue Coach's Corner segment without Don Cherry, name one former or current NHL coach you think could be next in line to replace him down the road. Shawn, any thoughts on this?
Jim Schoenfield for one reason. I think Ryan knows what the reason is.
The donut incident?
The donut incident, which, by the way, May 8th of this year is the 30th anniversary. So everybody out there, I'm going to say it once, and I'll be saying it every week until May 8th. Have another donut, you fat pig.
Look it up on YouTube if you don't know. I would say that Sportsnet already has Doug McLean lined up for this. They've already started some silly coaching segment on the Wednesday broadcast that he does. So I would think he's already lined up for this. Anybody else want to chime in on this one, or you guys don't really care?
They're never going to get rid of Don Cherry. They're currently working on a Don Cherry AI.
Tortorella.
Oh, my goodness.
Would just be like, I think that's what I'm saying, Brooksy.
So, no, it would be spectacular to watch.
I remember when he was on the TSN quiz, and he would always get mad at like half the guys on there, like everyone except for James Duthie, and if Pierre Maguire was there, like it was a mess. I'm sure Pens fans would love for Pierre Maguire too.
Ooh, I thought of another one.
Who else?
Alain Vigneault, because then he wouldn't be coaching the Rangers anymore.
You're already ready to get rid of him?
I'm so done with that
He's
guy.
had such an up and down year.
Didn't we say that a monkey could do a better job?
Michel Therrien.
No.
Just because I want to hear the Francais version of Corner de Coach on La Nuit de Hockey à Canada.
Shawn, maybe you could do it.
Oh, you want me to do Coach's Corner? I'd just be sitting there going and looking up where people are from, and then it'd be like, a lot of guys in the National Hockey League, they come in down the wing. Not a BC boy like Nick Antropov.
BC. Kazakhstan native.
No, he's from Oshawa.
Oh, right. New Antropov, yeah.
No. He lives in and Nick Antropov lives in Oshawa right now.
No way. I'd go visit him.
Go visit Nick Antropov. If you're listening, come on the show. I have your Jets jersey. I let you sign something for me. Ryan won't, but I will.
All right. Last question in the mailbag for today. Did the Toronto Maple Leafs traded for Thomas Plekanec? Whoever left this, you didn't leave your name, and your grammar is horrible. And then in brackets it says trade deadline double article. You stated that Toronto was inactive. So it's hard to understand your question, but yes, they did trade for Thomas Plekanec.
I know what they mean.
And what's up?
There was a comment written on the post because the day of the trade deadline, I made a list of every trade that was done on deadline day.
Oh, and Plekanec was traded for.
Was done the day before, so this person didn't read the part where I said deals done today. They thought they were just talking about deals that could have been done at any point because I had to cut it off at some point.
This is the type of person who probably just reads the headline of the article and not the article itself, and then says, oh, such and such is going to happen. All right, so there is a good question here from Burkus, and it applies to everyone. Everyone can answer. Should the Hockey Hall of Fame waive the 3-year waiting period for Jaromir Jagr? And P.S., if y'all ever only have just a Ryan podcast again, you should open it up to readers to join in. And I actually think we did. I put out the message on Twitter if anybody wanted to join in. But yeah, if that ever happens again, we'd love to have readers on, even if it's just not a Ryan podcast. But
We have had Reader on.
well, we have Beepo on sometimes, friend of the show.
No, Corey.
Oh, we had Corey on, your buddy. That's right. All right, let's go to the question. Hockey Hall of Fame, should they waive the 3-year waiting period for Jágr, Shawn?
No.
All right, Ben?
I mean, as much as everyone loves Jágr, he's going to get in for sure. I mean, rules are rules. He's going to get in. Like, can you really not wait 3 years?
TC, Steve, you guys agree? Or
As much as I love Jags, like, it's 3 years. Like, and he's a consensus first ballot, and it sets a bad precedent if you start making exceptions for players.
I wouldn't have even waived it for Gretzky.
no, I wouldn't have waived it for Gretzky either. He was going to get in. The league already retired his number. They didn't need to waive it. Steve, no waiving for Jágr?
No, just because he's kind of a shoo-in, and I mean, it's not like he's going anywhere. The only time I can ever think really of when someone would be deserving of that is really doesn't relate to anyone in hockey. I can only think of Roberto Clemente in baseball. I mean, the guy was not only a good baseball player, but he was a humanitarian. And, I mean, they literally waived it the second he died just to put him in.
Yeah. I would say
that would probably be the only instance where I would highly accept someone getting that achievement.
a similar situation, I would say, in hockey would be when Pat Burns was dying of cancer. And I think it would have been appropriate to waive the waiting period for that to get him in, but they chose not to, so we move on.
Those bastards.
That was and speaking of Pierre Maguire, he is on the Hockey Hall of Fame selection committee now.
Great.
Scotty Bowman's 15-year tenure ended, and Scotty Bowman chose Pierre Maguire as his replacement.
Well, Scotty Bowman's in his 80s, so, we can't fault the guy making a bad decision. He wasn't really thinking too straight. He should probably go back to coaching the Red Wings and not putting Pierre Maguire on that. I'd rather have Milbury.
Life.
He what?
I'd rather have Mike Milbury on it, because then Rick
Oh,
DiPietro
no. Shawn. Your bad ideas have no boundaries. Seriously.
Absolutely no boundaries.
All right. Well, that was the mailbag, which sparked a shot of inspiration for Shawn, which we didn't need. If you want to get your question answered on an upcoming episode of the podcast, you can go to hockeyjerseyconcepts.com, and on the side of the page, there's a form where you can leave your question. There's also the same form on the podcast page, or you can use the old-fashioned email and email us at mailbag@hockeyjerseyconcepts.com. Send your questions in, and they should be answered on an upcoming episode of the HJC podcast. That's all we got for today. Still, voting is available on the website. You can still vote for Concept of the Week. There's also Concept of the Week for the entire month of February that's up. And the season semifinals should be up by the time you listen to this. And we also, of course, have HJC stickers and Jersey Casual shirts for sale. Steve, you want to add anything to that?
They're all done. I just have to get them put up. It's the 1991-92 season's original 6 teams alternates. I'm looking for next series ideas. Anybody have any? Anybody on the podcast right now?
The great black jerseys of history.
That was appropriate for February.
Ideas?
Black History Month was last month.
Black Jersey History Month is April.
Black Jersey.
Not in Freedom Land.
Let's do Black Jersey History Month on the blog.
That's terrible.
Oh,
and this is how we get pulled from iTunes.
How is that terrible? How is that terrible? That is not offending anyone. If you're offended by black jersey
you don't
history,
live in America in 2018. Someone will be offended.
Canada's a lot better, let me tell you. No, if you don't want to learn the history of the black jersey and how it came to dominate the NHL and then was destroyed by people like Ryan and TC and people who don't like black jerseys,
then they had
the oppression.
Then they had to escape out of the NHL underground. What, too far? Is that no good?
Hey, I actually live in a town that was part of the Underground Railroad.
Canada was a big part of that too. The entire country. Just
So do I, but I was on the wrong end of it.
Hey, I provided lots of work.
Okay, why are we getting so far? No, seriously, guys, I need ideas.
Yeah, so if you got any, I don't have any ideas. Yeah, Shawn wants black jerseys. Just dark black, grim jerseys.
I'm even open to doing minors.
Awful alts of the 90s.
Minor league jerseys.
Burger King.
Steve's not open to minors.
Jerseys. Start thinking of favorite minor league jerseys.
Wild Wing, Burger King. Yeah.
Moose heads.
Shawn wants the moose heads. Obscure Eastern Canadian jerseys. That should be your next series.
There we go. The jerseys of Nova Scotia.
Moose heads.
Nova Scotia.
Hamilton.
Moose heads, Nova Scotia Voyagers, Cape Breton Oilers, Fredericton Express, Moncton Alpine.
These are big sellers. I can just see the store blowing up now. They got the Moncton Malpines. Oh, geez. Honey, get the boat. We need a few stickers. They've got the Moncton Malpines. I've been waiting.
Lucien Cormier LeBlanc of Moncton is really waiting on that right now. He's sitting there going, "Well, Juska check the HJC Red Bubble store, cause I want to see SKT de nouveau Moncton Alpine. They have it. Juska veut to get aim on credit card to Scotiabank."
So Moncton Malpine should be up anytime. Big seller. You got to get it before it sells out. Shawn's going to be spreading the word.
And I will make it. If someone buys it, then I will keep it up.
There you go. Moncton Malpines.
Make the Moncton Alpine HJC sticker.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
I'll buy one just to keep it on the store.
All right. Send me a picture of it. I'll do it.
There you go. You know what's coming next, ladies and gentlemen.
There we go. We've broken ground in the Jersey Casual shirt series. For the podcast, we'd love to get your guys' feedback. You can do so on any of the comments where you listen to the podcast, or on the Saturday post where you may be listening to the podcast. You can also send your comments and feedback to mailbag at hockeyjerseyconcepts.com. And if you like the podcast, be sure to share it with your friends. Share it on Twitter, share it on Facebook, wherever. Let's spread the word about the podcast and get as many people listening as we can. TC, Ben, Steve, Shawn, thanks for joining me.
Always glad to be a part of this.
And bringing some Eastern Canadian hockey history onto the podcast. That's fantastic. Thanks, everybody, for listening, and we'll talk to you again next week.